I would like to show you this book because I believe this is the real training one should do. Because of course we all do tactics, because tactics often we miss them, right? We are not computers, we miss them. But the real problem is when you are asked in a position where there are no tactics to find the next move. What do you do? So this kind of book is very, very hard to write, to create, because how do you really answer those questions, right? How do you find strategic positions? Well, the author found 400 of them, and it's very, very interesting because also the position number one that he shows in the book, that is not position number one, is something that he shows in the introduction. He asks the question, what would you play here as white? And of course it's a little difficult to answer, because he says I have a big experience with these kids, and kids today are really strong chess players. In fact, probably by the time you see this video, the new world champion could be an 18-year-old. But kids are just asking questions that are tactical related. What do you do if the question is strategic, right? And here I would like also to share the wisdom of this trainer, because Mr. Kratzif is clearly a coach, a gifted coach, and he says, I believe that the training process should be as close as possible to a real game. This is a universal principle applicable to many activities. So here are some tips for working with this book. 1. It is best to set up the exercise position on a real chessboard. It is also advisable to write down your own thoughts before looking at the solution. This will help you become more disciplined. In addition, I recommend writing an assessment at the end of your variation. So you understand, here there are of course a lot of tips that you can read by this coach, but the thing of putting the position over the board is, in my opinion, very, very important. Why? Because you need to touch the pieces. I think at this point, I think that some of our tactical problem, tactical blindness, is due to the fact that we didn't do some exercise over the board. Because if we did those exercise over the board, we would be able to see those tactics. And I will introduce this topic in another video, because I have an interesting book that I would like to share. In any case, this is position 7 from the book, page 9, and he asks you to choose between two moves. One is A6 and the other is A5. Okay? So you have these two moves to choose, A6 or A5. Which one do you choose? Now, let's go to the solution. The game was Dubnevich against Tribushnaya, European Championship, Termekates 2022. And he says, white wants to advance his pawns on the queen side. And the question is whether and how black can usefully delay them. He says A5 is wrong. Why A5 is wrong? Because after B5, white not only has the C5, C6 idea, but also that of placing a pawn on B6. cutting the a5 pawn off from its support. So this is a cut, right? And he says, let's see, after 26, knight e4, c5, f6. I just give you the main line, okay? Let's see. There is 28, but I cannot see it. Okay. Let me pause. Okay, I found the move 28. You know one thing, maybe it would be better to put these moves in bold, because that would make you see it easier. Sorry for my bad eyesight, but the point is that I'm reading you the solution, and as you can see, the solution, it's all the same font. If it was in bold, the moves of the solution, it would be easier to read. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Okay, after knight c4, e5, bishop e3, knight c3, and then we have b6, as played in the game, a4, and knight d6. Here it gives white a decisive final advantage. So can you imagine this position, 3, 5, 6 pawns against 6 pawns, material is totally equal. In this position, white has won the game. Okay? And it says why. It says black's counterplay with the a pawn will arrive too late. So it seems that he will not be able to promote before white promoting his pieces. If I may, let me return for a second to the original position, okay? Because I think it's important. I want to share my view. Okay, I think I put it back in the original position. So the choice was between a6 and a5. I personally choose a6. Why? Because I felt, and this, as you see, it's maybe sometimes also a question of chess understanding. I felt it was important to stop the pawns and white from controlling the dark squares, because here there is a fight, okay? Like always in chess, there is a fight for the control of some squares. In this case, I cannot allow him to control this, because otherwise it's over, no? And I didn't even calculate much. I didn't think of this, no. I didn't think it at all. I thought I need to prevent white from going here at all cost. And the only move that prevents that is this one. So that was my explanation, good or bad that it sound, okay? Now, let's read why the author says this is the best move. He says, is the best as white will have to waste a tempo on the move 26 a4, after which follow the king f8, b5, bishop c7, and king f1 and king e7. Now, this position is considered white is a little better, but the point is that black should be able at this point to hold the position, while before he wasn't able to do it, okay? So it's a difficult endgame for black. Why? Because you can see that white has more space, centralized pieces, the attack. So black must be able to neutralize this. Notice that white has a queenside majority, in the book by Max Euwe, a world champion, he thought that this kind of queenside majority gives white a win. It's not always true, okay? It's not always true, but it's a thing that you need to know. So these exercises, in my opinion, are more important than the tactical exercise, because in a real chess game you will have to take this kind of decisions, and here you really have the training that would be given to you by a coach. But a coach you paid a lot, while here with maybe $25, $28 you have a book that gives you hundreds of hours of training and will make you a better player. I will continue to show you other positions from this book. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.